Welcome to the Elders Corner. Hi, I am Nessa, the Holistic. Y'all, I have my glasses on today because I've just been doing a little bit of study and getting myself caught up, educated on some great and amazing things that's coming forth for me. So, anytime you are preparing yourself for your next level, you need to study, you need to be prepared. When you're presenting, you always want to present educated so they can feel like, ooh, this connection not only will benefit this company, but it's going to benefit everybody that come in contact with her. Y'all know, hey, my name is Nelson the Holistic. How y'all doing, big homies? Oh, geez, what's going on this week? How y'all week was? Mine's, I'm telling you, I've been in a really good mental space. I've been in a really great, I got good feelings, good vibes. I know that this is our next level. Astronomy says that Aquarius is going into a Pluto, so this is my season for 20 years. This is my next level. Like, this is my time. This is a time of rebellion. This is a time of prosperity and hard work. So it's time to put some work in. It's time to get some prosperity in your life. And know that it is a time to set apart your differences. How y'all been, OGs? Big homies, look. I am excited where God is taking us. This new year is right around the corner. 2025 is right here. It's like it's knocking on the door. And I don't have any resolutions, so I'm not going to talk about resolutions. We will do some educational stuff on resolutions. I know that the new year I've been planning, so that's another reason y'all see me with my glasses. I'm doing some plans. I'm putting some stuff together for the new year. The new year is going to be, Elders Corner going to go big. We're going to go big. We're going to go big. I got some plans for us. I have some people I'm bringing on for interviewing. I'm also buying new equipment so that we can have more stable, better equipment. We can have better production. I also been working with a young lady. She's working on her brand, and I got an assistant. So I'm gonna have an assistant starting in the new year. In the new year, I want to put out merch. There's a lot of stuff y'all don't know about me. When we talk about the holistic part of me, I deal with herbs, I deal with spices, I deal with sea mosses and health regimens for better health. My skin look is good because I don't do the collagen. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. I'm not saying that. But there are some stuff that God put on this earth that we can eat that'll give us glowing skin. I don't got no makeup on today. So I'm just telling you a little eyeliner, a little lip tint. So I'm just telling you the regiments that I have. So there's some stuff that I haven't presented. I sell sea moss. I have another brand, Mommy's Cookies, which deals with our more eccentric followers and friends. You know what I'm talking about. More of the THCs, more of those TH3s, in an edible form, not CBD. CBD is for more of the body. The TH3 is more for the relaxation. And so I have some stuff that'll help us relax, make us goofy, And so there's some stuff in the new year I'm going to bring to the table. When we started this, I always talk about this because I want it always to be in our forefront. And so, I got my dog under the table. Y'all know I have a Yorkie. Y'all learn a lot. As the homies build their relationship, there's a lot more you'll learn about me. And I hope I learned about you as you comment in here so that I can respond. I have, Mommy's Cookies. You guys know I do the sea moss. I do a lot of holistic stuff. So I want to share that. The other day, one of my community associates' parents got out of hospital, and I just gave them a few remedies. And I went and checked on them, and they told me they feel so much better. And so it works. One of my leaders a holistic practitioner. And so I'm going to get a chance to meet her. I'm going to actually hope I can land an interview so I can bring her on here for us so we can ask her those questions and get some information that'll help us, build up our immune system, our health, our strength, our skin, our elasticity, those type of things, And so, you guys, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? What's on the agenda? I'm gonna be a pilgrim this year. I'm gonna go home, go down south, me and the family and the kids, and we're gonna enjoy Thanksgiving with family. Usually I do it here alone with my kids and, some of my friends. This year I want to do it with my family, And we planned some stuff. So that's why we're here, because I want to come on a little early, guys, and just wish y'all a happy Thanksgiving. And I pray that, we're to a place that we have no control of what's going on, but we do have a mighty God. And our mighty God is our strength. Where we're weak, he's strong. Where we're lacking, he'll provide. When we're sick, he'll heal us. And so we're going to let him be our governor, and we're going to let him be our king. And as Donald Trump and his comrades do what they're doing, we're going to stay grounded in our foundation. Christ Jesus is our cornerstone and our foundation, right? With that being said, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Let's process Thanksgiving. When did Thanksgiving start? Now remember, we learned for Halloween that it was the end of working. You can't work anymore. Production was over. And so when you had All Hallows Eve, it was the end of the farming cycle, right? Now we're going into Thanksgiving. And so in Thanksgiving, it is harvest time. Okay? And so during this time is when you go out and you reap what you've sown, right? You're putting in the storehouse because winter's on the way. You can't work in winter because of the conditions of the earth in certain areas. Crops don't grow during winter time. So we're preparing for winter. And so Thanksgiving started in 1619. The first recognition or the holiday of Thanksgiving was in 1619 in Virginia. It was 38 English settlers who came from English Europe, immigrants. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. And it's amazing how we treat immigrants. So this was 38 English settlers came here to America, to Virginia on James River. They got here on a boat called Margaret. Okay? And they landed in James City County, Virginia. Okay? 1619. And when they got here, it said on December the 4th, they had declared that this was a day that the Lord gave them mercies to get to safety. So while they got here, their gratitude is towards God from that sea, that travel, and that they made it on dry land. And they made it to a city where they can thrive. Because now the Indians are harvesting in 1619. Okay? They were in harvest. And for the indigenous people, harvest time was the beans, the vegetables, the corns, those stuff, those items, not stuff, those items, those vegetables, those fruits that grew in that time. So they were harvesting that, and they shared it with them. The turkey and the mashed potatoes, which they got from the Indians, it was a trade. The turkey, the meats came from Europe. Okay, so The first Thanksgiving was in 1619, and it was an integration with the natives, with the indigenous people. And the English had already got here and established the city in 1619. We're talking about Virginia, one of the first 13 colonies. So Thanksgiving got a long history. And Thanksgiving have a lot of meanings. Okay? We're just doing historical content. That's it, y'all. We're on the corner, we vibing, and we learning. We always say this is a place of learning. This is a safe place so that we can understand what we're doing. We understand what we're celebrating. So we can't be saying, oh, y'all celebrated for this because, this what this means. Oh, there's a lot of critics out there. And when we get into the other holidays, I'm going to tell you some of the stuff they say. And we're not ignorant to it. And everything I'm telling you, you can look it up. You can read on it. Okay? Fact check. 1619. Charles City, Virginia, Commonwealth. 1619. And they were integrating with the natives because the natives taught them how to survive over here. Remember, I can't imagine what Europe was going through or England was going through at that time. That they were migrating out of there and presumed to say they found land. Remember, they thought the world was flat. It was said that, during the time of Christopher Columbus, this is all historical mythology. Christopher Columbus was prisoners, and they were sent on the ship to go to the edge of the world and ran into America. These are all hypotheses, okay? My mouth full of dry, y'all. I'm talking a lot. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln, declared it a holiday because of the Civil War. They had won the Civil War, and they had gratitude on these same days. Now, remember, when we talk about it, Thanksgiving started probably on the 20th to running all the way into the December season. Right before winter hit. Remember, we still in fall all the way to December the 21st, the 19th, 20th, 21st. So all that is fall season. And all these events are happening in the timeline on this same time period. Okay? Because remember, it was harvest. It didn't take no one day to harvest, and then you have a festival. Come on now. It take you one. Like, come on. Let's think about what we saying. You remember, these people not only harvest, they had to plant, they had to put back what they can use to reproduce for next year. So it had to be stored a certain way, so it don't get fungi or eaten by the bugs or the birds eating the seeds and stuff. So everything was harvested a certain way. So it wasn't no one day. It wasn't no one day. It was probably about 2-3 weeks that it took them to harvest and put up in storehouse, and then they prepared for the celebration. Right? Because as I continue to tell you about this, we're going to go all the way into Black Friday. Because we're educating. Right? 1863. So Lincoln, Civil War happened. They won the Civil War. Now they're celebrating, giving God thanks. And each time frame, each incident took them to a place of gratitude to God for whatever the circumstance was. My God, I can almost preach this. When ain't no scriptures. Y'all know I'm a preacher. So, Lincoln was giving God thanks. And then they have, during this festival time, right? For winning the Civil War. Okay? And in 1941, right, 1941, I made notes. 1941, America declared that they will celebrate the day of Thanksgiving on the 4th Thursday in November. So now it's not the 3 weeks It's this one day they're going to come together and give God thanks for the year on this Thursday, fourth Thursday. And we've turned it to tradition that family comes together, and we celebrate the bounty of God throughout the year. Some of them are celebrating their financial gain from trading and having produce. We all the way up to 1941. Slaves were still in the field. They're getting ready to get set free. Lincoln getting ready to emancipate the slaves. The North already beat the South. So now we're one country, one body of people in a stolen land that the English immigrated to. So they migrated, colonized, they put their government together here, my God, over the indigenous people. The indigenous people celebrate Thanksgiving because they thank God that they had a harvest of beans, carrots, potatoes, squash, corn. Y'all know when you see the big cornucopia and it be full of the vegetables, the gourds and stuff. Thanksgiving, you're giving thanks to God for your year. That's amazing. Us in church, it ain't that big for us who are believers because we give thanks some of us give thanks every day. I thank God every day. Some of us believers thank God every Sunday. You understand? Some of us thank God every time we get a blessing. I thank him every day. I have to thank him for life. I'm older. I look good, but I know I'm older. I thank God that I'm stable. I thank God for my relationship. This 15 years or better. My kids are adults. I thank God to see grandkids. Some moms didn't make it. Some who had the past that I have is transition. Some didn't make it. So I have gratitude every day. I have gratitude every day. I think you should have it too. Let's keep going. So now we're in that time, Black Friday. Black Friday is when all of the European, I got to pull that right here. All of the European would flee to certain towns because, after they declared in 1941 that's also was a day of free taxes. And so people would go and do all their trading and bidding during that time. In North Carolina and in Virginia, they had chopping blocks or slave blocks. And during that time, you would get your slave cheaper without state tax. And so they would do this on Black Friday. They said all the Europeans would flood into these towns to purchase goods, and the governors deemed it from the rush and the camaraderie and all that it was black. Black was looked up. The word black was a negative term. Okay, so they sold their best slaves for cheap on the chopping block in the square on Thanksgiving. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday for the indigenous was also a day presumed that they were slaughtered after they feast with them. It was black with the blood of the Indians. When the English or the Pilgrims conquered the land that they found. I'm just telling you what they say. All right? Let's get into modern time. Thanksgiving is a time that some of us get together with our families. Some of us need the break from work. So you get the day off. You know, you get Thursday and Friday. Some people work on that Thursday, the holiday, and they get holiday pay. And then they celebrate that night and then going into the Friday. Right? You feast. You put your best on the table. And the family go around the table in the tradition and says their gratitude to God, what they're grateful for, right? It's traditional, especially in the black families. In the black families, one thing I really loved it about Thanksgiving growing up as a young country kid, I loved it when all my aunts, I'm talking about my grandmother's sisters, would all plan the dinner, and all of their kids, and when all of us together, when all the kids, and then we might be, from Florida, and so we might be in Tillyville. That's where the Davis family, when we migrated from Mississippi, that's where the Davis resonated. I know my bloodline, I know my genealogy on both sides. And so we started there and we built, and then they all branched out in Florida. Some, moved to Georgia and on up. I had cousins living all the way as far as to Rochester. Even further now. And, Chicago and stuff. So I loved it when and then they cook all them cakes from scratch. You see them in there wheeling that flour, wheeling flour and mashing potatoes, and you see them in there working. All the elders cook good food. That food gonna be good. It's Clint. Because, back then we used to eat chitlins and hog maws and, oh my God, pig foot. Jesus got pigtail, pork pie. Oh my God. And they would cook and we would all eat, and everybody, they would say, the prayer was a long prayer. Because one of the senior elders or the matriarch of the family would do the prayer, And usually they would allow one of the males, and if one of the brothers weren't there, my uncles, great uncles, then, the sanctified, all of them were sanctified too. And that was another thing. They all were sanctified. And I used to love it because the ones, even though they were sanctified in the house, because the elders stayed in the house. And then, my mama and her cousins and her sisters and brothers, her sister, because she only got one sister, and her brothers, and all her cousins, and all of them are there that they growed up together, and they're outside. Y'all know. And drinking and acting like they're a good kid in front of their mom and dad. Now, mind you, they 30, 40, 50. We were babies. I miss that. I miss that tradition. I miss that. I used to help my grandmother go shopping all week. I was her assistant. That's how I know how to cook, and I learned the secrets. I know all the little secrets. And as I got my life together, as I started cooking again, it all. Oh, I remember when grandma used to put this, and that, and it tastes like the food. Another person who got it is one of my cousins, Marcus Apostle Davis. He, oh my. He got that old-fashioned traditional cooking. But yeah, and then, the day after, you guys would go and do the Black Friday. I stopped Black Friday and, I ain't gonna tell y'all no feel. Nah. Before my children became adults, I would Black Friday for all the stuff that I knew that they always wanted. Like their computers, when computers first came, when everybody wanted a laptop, that's when I would do my Black. When everybody wanted tablets and iPads, and this and that MacBook this. And I would do my Black Friday because remember, no taxes. And then they be selling because it's so much competition. Best Buy going against PC Richards and PC Richards again. So everybody competing, so the best prices. The TVs, the games, you know. And then y'all know we got the Cyber Monday now for electronics. And then Black Friday is for your clothing and household items and whatever, you know. But that's when I did it. And then when my kids became grown, like I eased out of that because I didn't have to buy so much. Because, you know, you always buy your stuff in November for December when Christmas comes. All you're doing is wrapping up and getting loose ends, get the food together, and you stacking your money because you know on New Year's, you want some bread in your account. I grew up with so many different traditions during this time. You know, you want to have a couple of $100 in your savings. You want to have a couple of $100 in your pocket, and you need to be in church and give a fresh first of the year offering, first fruit offering. Even though the time doesn't, you know, as we got older, you know, you learn the truth where, you know, your first this and Sabbaths and all this stuff and theology and all that. But back then, that's how we were raised. That was the tradition that I loved. I loved during this time of year. We are in a time now that we got to find something always to be grateful for. You want to always find yourself grateful. Let me tell you something. Even in your hard times, find something to be grateful for. Find something to be, even when you got no dollars in your account, say, Lord, I just thank you that next year, by this time next year, I'm not going to be like this, God. By the time, if you're drug addicted and you're going through your addictions and you trying to get, listen, we'll be 100 on here. I might not do hard drugs, but I have things that I struggle with. And I've been begging God, you take this thorn. You got me in a position that, listen, is way bigger than I perceived, Lord, that I thought that I was capable of. You understand? And it happened so fast. You know, he wiped my slate clean. He made it where it was supposed to be easier for me and more for me financially, God. And because, you know, you got to have this and I got to do this and I got like it was too much. I did it to myself. And so I had to find gratefulness. Lord, I thank you that I recognize the part that I played. Now, God, I thank you that you're going to give me the download that I can understand what not to do. That's the lesson learned. Because I already know what I did wrong. Now I got to figure out how to get out of that situation. Clean up what I messed up. And Lord, your download going to give me the strength and the tenacity to do that. I'm not trying to come over here and preach. I'm just trying to say that the mindset of being thankful. The settlers were fleeing for whatever was going on in England. It does not tell us that in the history. It just, AI won't tell us, the Wikipedia won't tell us, the dark history won't tell us. Because we're not the only ones that celebrate Thanksgiving. Canada do it a certain way. When the French came and settled in Canada. When Japan did it. You know. Okay, that's England. And then they say Canada did it in 1872. When the French came and settled. You know, Australia, pre-war observance to the last Thursday of November. 1949, Brazil. My head is down watching to read because they all celebrate colonization. They all celebrate victories. You know, Lincoln declared it because they won the Civil War. People, and just think about winning the Civil War and the ones who that you lost your family during this time. But they was grateful. Like, I mean, Toronto, if they was, you know, had military people in, you know, fighting for this war, you know. What if it was a wife who lost her husband who fought and died? But she was grateful that they won the war. You understand? And we got to get back to that kind of place now. Trump is in office so that we can learn to be grateful. Trump is in office so that in our hard times, we're going to find God. Some of us, because I listen. When he won, I made a conscious decision that I have to be Christ mind-like and represent what he represents, and I have to trust God fully now. You know, cause just think about it. Women does not have they don't own their bodies anymore when he get in office. Those people who went into the White House, guess what? They finna be free. They finna be pardoned. He's using the military right now he's gonna deport all the Spanish people, all the immigrants. They're gone. If you don't have proof, and I'm sorry to say this, he even said, because he said it, they're talking about family separations on the news. They said they're not going to separate the family. The whole family going. The whole family. And let me tell you, I talked to some family members that live in Texas, that live on the border and stuff. I've never heard what the family is telling me, that the Venezuela and all those people from Brazil, they migrated, and how they was living on the streets and how they took it over. A lot of them down there voted for Trump because they're tired of that. They said that they took all the jobs. How they can take the jobs? They got no Social Security. But they cheap labor. Right? We got to find something. We're going to have to find something to be grateful for, y'all. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I hope you are too. I just wanted to go into that real seriousness, you guys. I wanted us to know where Thanksgiving came from. I hope the big homies understood the historical knowledge of Thanksgiving. And now we're going to take Thanksgiving and we're going to give our own reason of gratitude during this time. It's already a federal law that is a holiday. So on this fourth Thursday of November, us, big homies, the OGs, the Elders Corner, the Nessa the Holistic, us, we're going to celebrate the blessings God bestowed on us this entire year, the mercy he has given us this entire year, the unconditional love. He's rebuilding. He rebuilt during this year. We lost some. Those that we lost, let's thank God that we lost them, that we're no longer in a relationship with them, because they can no longer hurt us no more. They can't hurt us no more, and we can't hurt them, right? So, Thanksgiving, let's be thankful for what God got us. Let's be thankful for the place He's getting ready to take us. And listen, y'all, like I told y'all in our previous video, prepare for the worst, so that when you prepare for the worst, when it happens, it won't affect you so bad. It won't. It probably won't affect you. Because God already declared, when you put God with Him, everything around you will be in chaos. And it won't even touch you. It won't affect you. It won't be near you. This is why He's my king and He's my governor. Y'all, look, I thank y'all for stopping by over here on the Elders Corner. Listen, I want to wish y'all a happy Thanksgiving. I am thankful for the relationship the OGs and the big homies are building. Y'all, listen, the support and the love is so admired and appreciated. Y'all, I thank you so much for coming over here to the Elders Corner with your Nessa, the Holistic. Peace.